That young man up on the stage there is me, Jack Moran. I'm 19 years old and I've been doing stand-up comedy now for a few years with a group that my friends and I started. Now I'm sure you've all seen stand-up comedians on TV, but I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what stand-up comedy is really about. Now as the name suggests, it's a performance of the comedic variety, but what most people don't know is that in its current form it only became popular in the 1970s with such greats as George Carlin and Richard Pryor. The interesting thing about stand-up is that the performer directly engages the audience.
Let's see. You, right there. What's your name? Haley. It's a cool name. You enjoying yourself tonight?
It's almost more like a conversation than a performance, and you don't normally see this in most other performing arts. Now, because of this conversation-like delivery, stand-up comedy seems simple, when in reality it's actually rather complex. There's many different factors that determine what makes comedic material funny or not. The main factor here is called relatability, which is defined by the Merriam-Webster dictionary as the quality or state of being relatable. What's that supposed to mean? Essentially, this means that you get it. You're able to take what's being said and compare it to your previous knowledge, therefore contextualizing it in a way that you understand. It's what makes a joke funny. Here we have an excellent example of relatability. A fellow comedian and close friend of mine, Chase Coney, delivers a joke.
I don't know, some things should not be real. Narnia? Oh yeah, I love Narnia. Sounds like a fantastic world. But now imagine if Narnia were real. Imagine if it were real and the American government got wind of it. The White Witch has been performing war crimes on her people, and it is our duty as a democratic, civilized nation to go there and free them from this tyranny. And if we happen to find oil while we're there... The next book, The Lion, the Witch, and Operation Closet Storm.
Stop. Now there's a lot going on there that we have to understand in order to get this joke. First of all, we need to have a basic familiarity with the series The Chronicles of Narnia. We also need to know about the possible motive that oil played when the U.S. military decided to occupy foreign countries. Now, if we do have knowledge about these two incidences of pop culture, we get the joke. It's funny. Almost instantaneously, our brain connects this information and you get... However, if just one little piece is missing, it can mean the difference between cracking up, like this young lady, or not being so impressed, like this guy. Now that we have a basic grip on stand-up comedy, we can look at some of the science behind it.
It's been scientifically proven that the only way to kill Bruce Willis is with a nuclear bomb and an asteroid at the same time.
The brain is a very complex organ, and we don't fully understand how it works yet. However, through brain imaging and mapping, we are coming out with some very interesting discoveries. This is especially true in the field of comedy. It's only in the past decade that neuroscientists have been able to pin down exactly how the brain reacts when a joke really cracks someone up. However, with those advances, it's been discovered that comedy activates regions of the frontal and cingulate cortex, which are linked with association formation, learning, and decision-making. This discovery has led to speculation that comedy may actually play a key role in the development of the human brain. An interesting study as of lately actually shows that creativity spikes when people are in a good mood or at least relaxed. The study also showed that creativity and imagination seems to drop off as a person gets later in their years. This is likely due to the fact that as we get older we tend to stick with the status quo and develop habits and routines. Overall, this just makes it harder for people to think outside the box. Now, if we compare this study to the brain mapping and imaging that scientists have done about the effects of comedy on the brain, we can see that stand-up comedy might very easily actually have positive health effects for the brain. If stand-up comedy can make you think about things you already know in a different way...
For some reason, being atheist is the only religion or gender or denomination of any kind that it's okay to just openly discriminate against and make fun of. And for some reason that's okay, but that's not okay with me. For example, I got a friend, his entire family is very Jewish, and I've been friends with them for a long time, so they know I'm atheist, but they're okay with that. I went over to his house one day and I knocked on the door and his mom answers. She goes, "Oh, hey there, Jack. Now, if I let you in, you're not going to get struck by lightning, are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, ha, ha, very funny. You know, I got a sense of humor, I can laugh that off, but I bet there's a lot of atheists out there who couldn't." You see, if she came over to my house and knocked on the door, and I said, "Oh, hey there. Now, if I let you in, you're not going to take all the money, are you?" Oh, and you drove here too? I didn't know women could do that.
As well as put you in a good mood by making you laugh, then it's easy to see how it can break you away from your typical routine and even promote your creativity in other areas of your life. Knowing that about stand-up comedy, that probably makes you think, gee, the world sure could use more of that around. In that case, I've got just the people you were looking for. Bark Durgandy Presents, a functioning stand-up comedy troupe since 2010. Comprised of me and a few friends, it all started back in high school when we wanted to explore a new hobby, a passion that we'd all liked for a long time but never had the experience of trying. Our first show was a huge success, which led to more beyond that. Eventually we put on a public show in a local theater, and we packed the place out. All the money we made from this event went directly to our college funds. People were so impressed by this that we were featured in our local newspaper. We even managed to make it onto the popular morning news program
Good Day Sacramento.
With these helpful promotions, as well as a little bit of elbow grease, we managed to put on an amazing show in which we actually had professionally filmed and created DVDs from. Through selling these DVDs and continuing performances, we've managed to put a considerable dent in our education expenses, and at the same time help explore a passion that all of us share. I'm sure I'll continue my activity with Bark Durgandy Presents all through my college career, and hopefully even beyond that. I urge all of you to help Bark Durgandy Presents. You'll not only be helping me pay for school and your brain to stay healthy, you'll also be helping the Bark Durgandy organization stay alive and bring more stand-up comedy into the world. You can find information on how to buy a DVD or see one of our live shows by visiting our official Facebook page. And while you're there, don't forget to like us. Thanks for watching, everyone.